So this is just an example of some of the types of properties where we often find holes in the structure. Holes, clear, great big holes going through to next door. And what I'm going to show you next is where we often find these holes. When you come into these types of property, when you go through the front doors on these types of property, what happens is you normally go into the front lounge. All right, so you go into the front lounge and then you have a door lining, and then you have another middle room, and then you have the door lining and maybe a kitchen at the back, and then sometimes the bathroom right at the back. So where do you often find holes is often in the suspended floor void, and this is where you have the joists running parallel and the ventilation between the properties. You have the holes going through to next door. But often missed is on the door linings. So when you remove these door linings in order to run a soundproofing system to the direct noise path all the way through, you don't want to go up to the wood and then bring the other system up to the wood and go around the door line, otherwise you just leave a great big weakness in the wall. So when you remove the door lining, that's where we often find those holes in the structure, right? If you're thinking now, what is he going on about now? What I'm saying is when you remove the door lining, back in the day, they didn't have raw plugs, or they used big old iron nails. And what they actually did is they actually put a block of oak or a block of wood and bricked it around. So they treated that bit of wood as like a brick. And that's what they then nailed the door lining to. So these door linings that you see here, and there's another one here, that will have old chunks of wood where they used to fix the door linings to. And as you can imagine, over the 100-year-old properties, that wood would have decomposed, it would have moved, and even if the door lining's been replaced sometime in the past, that bit of wood would have potentially came out when the door lining is ripped out, unless that person that puts the door lining back in is thinking, oh, what about noise? Oh, what about fire? They're not going to brick that hole up. So this is just a place where we often find holes. So if you do have this type of property, check the door linings. Don't just go up to the door lining. Don't just go up to the door lining that side. Remove the door lining, and that would potentially reveal any hole in the structure. And if it is wood, of course, brick up the hole. Now, some of you are going to find no holes, and some of you are going to find massive holes, and you're thinking, wow, I've got to brick that hole up. Just from soundproofing thousands of properties, here is a particular type of house which always reveals a huge hole going through to next door. Now, look at these houses here. They often have a walkway. So take this house here, as I don't know whose house this is. So if you're watching the course, hey, your house is famous on the soundproofing course. So there's the front door. And this is a walkway between the two houses. And this is often access. There's another one. And if we go to my slide here, there's another particular type of property, and there's another one there where you have a hole, and this is another particular type of property. It's a walkway between the two buildings. So back to this, older properties where you have a walkway between the two houses. Now what happens in this bedroom or in this bedroom, there's a hole going through to the neighbours. Now, I'm not too sure why, it's not my area of expertise, but when you pull up the floor, you pull up the floor, it doesn't look like there's a hole, but if you actually get down there, there's a hole, and it goes all the way through. It goes all the way through to the neighbour's property. This hole goes, you look down there, it goes all the way through. It's often with the lath and plaster ceiling, so the walkway will be about here, but then the hole continues all the way through to the neighbour's property. So it's a clear channel of noise between the two properties. So if you have this type of property and you've got a walkway between and you're hearing all those sorts of high frequency noise, you could have a huge hole through to the neighbour's property. Then that is a key area where you've got to remove the bedroom floor and check for those holes in the structure, because that's going to affect noise getting into the lounge and noise getting into that bedroom and noise getting into the rest of the house. So if you do have a hole, big hole like this, and there's nothing to support bricks and mortar, fill the void with rock wool as much as you can. You should be able to put a couple of slabs down there without compromising anything, so put plenty of insulation in there. Then brick up the hole if you can. Here's one here, put insulation in there. Brick up the hole if you can. If it doesn't take the load bearing, then you're going to tuck the system down. So you're going to cut it around the joist, tucking the system down, and then of course insulate back on your floor too. So missing bricks, holes in the structure. If you're hearing those types of high frequency noise coming through, check where there's an alteration, look for RSJs going into the wall, open up the floor voids, check the loft, give you an idea of what you're in for the party wall, check those suspended floor voids. If you have those older types of properties, check behind the door linings. And if you have those properties with the walkway between the two properties, definitely pull up the bedroom floor. So even if you're treating the lounge, pull up the bedroom floor and check for those holes in the structure.
Now, if you're a DIYer, builder looking to soundproof your own home, why not consider the noise-free DIY soundproofing course? There is a bit of a waiting list for the noise-free DIY soundproofing course at the moment. If you click the link in the description, you can join that waiting list and we'll let you know when the next slot becomes available. That's it for now, guys. I hope this little video helps. Let us know any questions you have in the comments down below, and I'll see you on the next video.